So, I'm at home. I shouldn't be at home. Why I'm at home? Well, first clip, watch this. So, a little message to all our employers, people coordinating their MVQ assessments. I'm at this rather big project here today. It's an HS2 infrastructure sub-project. But nobody informed me of the PPE requirements. I read through the RAMs, which I always do before I come. Nobody said anything about a specific colour. I do have the right colour in the van. I will be getting changed, but can you check these things? Also, site managers, really pernickety about induction times. I was here at 7 o'clock this morning. Luckily I was, because he does the inductions at 7:30. Again, nobody mentioned that in the RAMs. So, induction times have got to be confirmed, getting that communication across. That could have been a bit of a howler today, but luckily we've managed to get through things and get myself onto this visit and not let the learners down. So, we've done the honours. We've got the high-vis changed over. Ditched my regular high-vis that I normally wear. So, I've also been asked that my boots, and I'm using buck boots, which are all CE, EU, British standard approved, are not approved for this site. I've asked for a full PPE list, but I'm obviously not going to get onto this site today, so it's really scuppered what I'm doing. And the ironic thing is, I've just seen two lads go in for induction, and they've come out with the mankiest pair of boots you've ever seen. High-vis that isn't high-vis, yet I don't know why we're having, I personally, but it's just really frustrating, really annoying. So, and it costs a lot of time and effort as well. So this has delayed this poor learner's assessment. So the scenario that panned out was the RAMs. Well, the planning for the event was all done as normal. RAMs were sent to me prior to the event, which is always good for my assessment to make sure they're in place, but also for me to cross-reference the learners when I do go to site so that we can ask some questions. I always have a quick scan through, and like we say, the one for PPE, there was no mention in there in the RAMs, nothing specific. And also the other thing was induction times. There was no kind of confirmation of what time they are, just turn up on site and you'll be inducted. The other things that came around was that the contractor in this instance stipulated a specific requirement of PPE. And they asked me what my role was on site, what I was doing, and I explained I'm here from CITB doing MVQ level 2 assessments for gas membrane installers. Now, this raised a flag then to the contractor, because he was then made aware, why are you here assessing when we've already got a qualified workforce on site? So beware here, everybody, because you should be declaring to your clients who you've contracted or tendered for the job on that you've got a skilled workforce, or you've got a workforce that's working towards. There's a big difference. Or you have a workforce that isn't qualified and haven't achieved. So we do talk about how the CSCS cards play out, and does anybody really look at them CSCS cards? Well, it was a classic example today. They just take a photocopy of it, put it in the health and safety folder, job done. Nobody's reading these cards, nobody's checking, nobody's looking at the colour of what competencies you hold, whether you're a green card, general labourer, done 1 day's health and safety training, or you are a blue card, skilled worker, or whether you're a gold card, a supervisor. So often I see the term supervisors on site, that they're going to wear a black hat, that they've got their triple STS or their SMSTS. But have they, the level 3 for the supervisors is the one that ticks the boxes? Because I am cross-questioning some of the supervisory elements if people declare that they are supervisors on site when they're actually not supervisors. So I've had a bit of a manky day today, so I've come back to the office. I can crack on with my work. And interestingly enough, just to close this saga off, I've had a call from the main contractor from their head office, questioning whether I was assessing or not, which obviously I don't go to site for any other business. I was assessing that whether the learners will be completing their MVQs today off the back of me attending site, which I said clearly I won't, because I didn't go on site. And therefore the question has now gone back to the verifier about the competencies, which are now being double checked. So this has opened up a whole can of worms here. So sorry, but I'm only trying to do the right thing here, guys. Trying to get a competent and qualified workforce. Site could be a bit more amiable in approaching assessments. It will get logged on the CITB register that we hold for assessment that, well, these guys just didn't let us on site. They weren't very cooperative. They could have lent PPE. They could have facilitated doing a visitor induction or escorting or making other arrangements. It happens on a lot of sites because getting people trained and getting people qualified is very important. So, yeah, and we've got buildings to put up as well. Everything's important. But if we don't train the workforce going forward, we won't have anybody to build the buildings. So I thought, following the incidents of today, that I'd come back and just refresh my own knowledge and understanding. And I dug up the old hierarchy of controls, which is very useful to look at. But also I delved into my library and I found my old IOSH Managing Safely, which I renewed about 3 years ago, or just after the just before the COVID incident. And it clearly states in there that control measures, your PPE is your last line of defence. And actually working there and looking through some of the other controls that were in place, such as risk assessments, method statements, it was a little bit of an eye-opener how well observed and how well implemented that is by the main contractor, who certainly seemed more concerned about the wearing of the right colour of PPE and appropriate PPE, which is very valuable, but some of the other controls that were taking place, and also some of the working methods that I could encounter from where I was on site. So really kind of mixed emotion day to day, but something for all of us to take away and learn from. Certainly planning, knowing what you're doing, and dip into my other gassing on content where I talk about some of that pre-start requirements that you need to do. So enjoy, and I'll catch you again next time. There's sure to be something cropping up soon. Cheers now. Bye.